Welcome everyone. Grab anything else that you might need. So glad to have so many of you here today and some new faces and familiar faces. I know we have some people that are new to the studio or new to yoga altogether. So I'm so glad that you're here. We always kind of teach this class to whomever is here. So I'll try to make it really accessible. But anything that you may want to opt out of or modify, or just I'll show you child's pose at the beginning. You can always go into that if you would like. So I'm Rachel. I teach Monday mornings here at 9 a.m. and then we alternate this community class on Fridays at 4. So some of you may come a lot or just drop in. So we'll start class with just a few words, a few breaths. We end class with something called Shavasana, which is we get to lie on our back. It's a time to relax. If you're new to yoga, sometimes it can feel a little bit like, what are we doing? Why are we just lying here? You come to love it. It comes to be like the most beloved part of class, but it's okay if it's a little bit hard for you. If you prefer to sit for a few minutes in meditation as opposed to lying on your back, that's fine. The bathrooms are through the door. The code is on the door, 430-3010. Don't lock yourself out of the studio if you go to the restroom. So today, I was looking at pictures when I was in Wyoming this last summer, and I was looking at this big, beautiful sky. And I was reminded of a quote from Pema Chodron who says, "You are the sky, everything else is just the weather." And there's an idea in Buddhism of tapping into this, what they call a blue sky mind, which is this sense of ourselves that is the expansive sky above the weather, right? And the weather might be our thoughts, the weather might be our emotions, it might be whatever drama is unfolding in our lives. If you've ever had the experience of being on an airplane, it might be like really cloudy and stormy, and then all of a sudden you break through that cloud line, like the sun is always shining up here, right? And so we all have that part of ourselves that is, we can either think, behind all of the drama that's unfolding or above it. And tapping into that can provide a real sense of freedom, can provide a real sense of expansiveness and a sense of kind of zooming out. I think many of us can get really pulled into all of the minutia that happens in the day-to-day. So my goal today is a nice full body practice. Many times way to tap into that blue sky mind is in and through the body, right? We get out of this busy headspace, we get into our body, we can let go of the week, set ourselves up for a nice weekend. So that is my intention today. So we're actually going to start on your back in constructive rest to center today for a couple breaths. You can move your materials, your props, I could not think of that word, off the mat, and I'll tell you what constructive rest is here. So as you lie back, so move your stuff off the mat. You can take feet hip bone distance apart. And you can either allow your knees to bend here or allow them to knock in toward one another. So either knees are up and down or allow them to knock in. And you can either take hands on the belly or one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Just intuitively feel where your hands want to land. You can either soften your gaze or allow your eyes to close. And just allow yourself to arrive. Imagine all of us have had different things occur throughout the week. So just first become aware of the breath that is already here at the tip of the nose. See if you can, with that observer in yourself, watch as the breath comes in through the tip of the nose, filling up the body. And then observe as you exhale how your body can settle just a little bit more onto the mat beneath you. Let's take 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, letting go, settling. Do that again, just seeing if you could maybe even lengthen your inhale or your exhalation. These slow, deep breaths are cues in our body's language that it's okay to downshift and start to move away from a really frantic state of being, be constantly activating fight and flight and freeze. shifting more into an inward focus, an ability to land, to settle. As you continue to breathe deeply here, just acknowledge anything that needs to be acknowledged. All of us walk around with heavy things. Sometimes through acknowledging them, even just imagining, sometimes I imagine myself like taking off a heavy backpack, setting it aside. We can pick it back up whenever we want to. Just imagining that we could take small respite. Take a couple more breaths here and see if you could, in your mind's eye, just imagine that big blue sky. Maybe there's a time that you've been in a really beautiful, expansive place. Maybe it's even the memory of the sky as you were coming into the studio today. And that color blue on a really clear day. The brilliance, the beauty, the clarity. We are up above the clouds, above those fleeting thoughts and emotions. So you feel ready to, you might bring in some small movements here as you're on your back. So you could windshield wiper the legs. You might stretch your arms up overhead. If you're like, no, I need to lie here, you could lay on your back the entire class. Absolute permission. Do what you need to do. But if you feel ready to bring in a little bit of movement, just do what feels intuitive. You can even bring these in toward your chest. Rock them a bit side to side. Just feeling into the back body, feeling into the parts of your body that are touching the floor. Just keeping a little bit of your awareness there on your breath. You want to continue moving in a way that feels good to you. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'll give you some things, invitations to follow along with me if you'd like. So let's take the feet a little wider than the hips, and we'll take the knees over to the left. So the feet are wide so that the legs aren't going to touch each other. Okay, so we have two 90-degree angles with the knees, and they can come all the way toward the floor. Just go ahead. So they're like two right angles with the knees. Just allow them to come toward the floor. You want to deepen this stretch a little bit. So your knees are over to the left. You're going to take your left foot and pop it on top of your right knee. Okay, just gently push the knee forward. Yeah, you got it. And then from there, you might extend right arm, especially up overhead. See if you could feel a stretch through your right side. And then just take a couple of breaths, breathing in here. So a little bit of a supine twist, a little bit of a side stretch. After your next exhale, we'll unwind, bring your feet back down onto the mat. So feet are nice and wide, and then take your knees over to the left. Sorry, to the right. Other side, knees over to the right. From here, you can take bottom ankle, so right ankle, pop it up on top of the left knee. It's just an extra bonus, a little bit more of a stretch. And then left arm can come up and overhead. You might even grab the left wrist with your right hand and just tug gently, getting a little bit more of a side stretch. Again, that invitation to just land a little bit more in sensation in the body, tuning in to where you might feel places of stretch or sensation, tension. We'll unwind from here. We'll bring just right knee in toward your chest and stretch your left leg long. So left leg is on the floor, right knee in toward the chest. You can make a couple circles with that right knee. So you can squeeze in, get a little bit of compression through the hip there. If it feels okay to you, you can keep your left leg long. If that left knee needs to be bent, then bend it. From here, we're gonna go to half happy baby. So you're gonna bend your right knee and with your right hand, grab the inner or outer part of the foot. So think of like a low lunge position on your back. So same hand is grabbing the same leg and you're working ankle over the knee and then gently pull down into the leg, press back up with your foot. So get some sensation through this right hip. Your left hand is free. Press your left thigh down and away. So you're anchoring that femur bone down. One more breath, really go for it. We'll gently set that foot back down. Bring your left knee in toward your chest. Make a couple circles, get some compression through the hips. So you might even squeeze the knee in and release a couple of times. Yeah, you could rotate the ankle here as well. We'll slide out for half happy baby on this side. So left hand is going to capture outer or inner foot. And I'm grabbing pinky toe edge of the foot, everybody. You could see how that feels to you. Yeah, and so you want to get a little action as well. So press up into your hand with your foot. At the same time, you're pulling down with your hands. It's like a little cat and mouse here. Then right hand can anchor right thigh down. Press your femur down. That's where the good stuff happens. Good, and release. Stretch your arms up overhead. Make sure you're not going to hit anything. We'll keep backs of the hands down. Okay, so if you need to move any of your props, go ahead. You can shift them out to the side there. We're going to come in and out of bridge pose a couple of times. So if you're not there, go ahead and bend your knees. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Okay, and arms are up overhead. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up into bridge. Good. Exhale as we come down. Take your arms down alongside your body as your hips descend toward the floor. So we're going to get a little flow going here. So hips come all the way down, arms come down. We're going to try to sync that up. Inhale, arms lift, hips lift. Hands come to the floor as you reach the peak of your bridge pose there. Good. Exhale. Hands come down, hips come down. Try to time everything together. Inhale. Take the full length of that inhale to reach arms up overhead, extend from your hips to your knees. As you exhale, everything lands back down to the earth. Two more times with your breath. So moving with the sequence, the pacing of your breath here. Once you've completed two of those, just pause for a moment. And then eventually you'll roll to your right side and come on up to hands and knees position. Making your way back up to hands and knees position. Spread your fingers nice and wide. We'll bring knees underneath the hips. Okay, so this is called tabletop. We'll start with a couple of cat and cow tilts through the spine. So if you're new, it's really hard to work with all the different cues. If you catch like 20% of what I'm saying today, that's great. Don't stress about anything. So inhale, let your belly drop, pull your chest through, arch through your spine. Good. Exhale, round and curl. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. Moving with the breath here, unfurl. Just waking up through the center channel of the body, through the spine. Noticing for yourself where you might feel some sensation today. So for me in cat pose, I can really feel that in my shoulders. Maybe you can really feel the expansiveness through the chest. In cow. A couple more times. Inviting our self to be right here, right now. Next time you come back through tabletop, we'll pause in tabletop, spread your fingers wide, really engage through your hands. So press down through your hands and then look down at the belly, hug the belly in a little bit. From here, we're gonna extend right foot behind you, right toes turned down. So foot is about hip height here. You can stay here, or if you're feeling adventurous, pick up your left arm for spinal balance. So here we are stretching in 2 directions. Good, flex your toes like you're gonna kick through that back wall. Bring your belly in, strong through the core. Exhale, everything comes back down. All right, let's try the left side. Inhale, left leg up. You can even look down at your toes and turn your toes toward the floor. And then look at your belly button. Invite your belly button into the body so you have a nice strong center. From that strong center, maybe extend right arm alongside your ear. Take a breath. Stretch in 2 directions, like someone's pulling on your ankle and your wrist. Exhale, plug in. Good. Hand comes down, knee comes down. We're going to slide back to child's pose. So knees go wide, big toes touch, hips sink back, and arms can slide forward. So this is child's pose. You can rest your forehead on the floor. You could stack your palms and rest your forehead there. If your forehead's on the floor, you might just rock it a little bit side to side. So anytime throughout class, this is a place you can come. If it doesn't feel good on the hips, you could always elevate the hips a little bit or slide a blanket behind the knees. From here, let's crawl the hands over to the right side. So take them off your mat, off to the right side. You can take both hands all the way off. Go ahead and do that. And then fingertip crawl your hands away as you release the head. A nice stretch through your left side. And then take your hands all the way over to the other side. So off the mat. As much length as you want to get. You could stretch both hands further away. Might even tent up on your right fingertips and gently tug the right hip crease back. Yeah. Good. Coming back through center. And make our way back up to tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands 1 handprint forward, then our shoulders. Okay. Everybody take a look at your hands. One thing we really work in yoga is strong foundation. So spread your fingers super wide and then a little clawing action with your fingertips. Okay. We're going to tuck the toes and then press back up into downward facing dog. So this is our upside down V shape that we're making. So our hips are the highest point there. And if you can, allow your head to release so that your ears are kind of near your biceps. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Yeah, pedal out the feet, maybe buzz out the lips. And when you're ready, walk your feet to meet your hands at the front of your mat in a forward fold. We're going to pause in a forward fold. Release your head. Shimmy out the shoulders. And if your hamstrings are tighter, this is a great spot to have a couple of blocks underneath the hands. Just bringing the floor a little bit closer to you. You don't want any pulling in the low back. Really nice, everybody. Maybe even open and close the jaw a few times. Shake your head yes and no. And when you're ready, ground down through your feet. Inhale, arms reach all the way up to the sky. Do a crescent stretch here. Left hand grabs right wrist and tilt over toward the clock. So you could straighten both arms, so stretching and then descending a little bit more, finding that the space between each of the ribs. Inhale, arms reach up. You can follow with the eyes. Exhale, other side. Another breath, stay. Good. Inhale, interlace your fingers, reach them to the sky. You can arch the back a little, feel a good morning stretch here. Good afternoon stretch, hands behind the head. Lean back, open through the chest. Yeah, feel that expansiveness there. And gently bring your head back to center. Release your hands. Take hands to the shoulders. Do a couple shoulder circles here. And as close as you can bring your elbows toward one another in the middle. If they don't go all the way there, that's fine. All of us have different anatomy. Sorry, you're right behind this pole.
Oh, it's okay. I'm good.
Okay, good.
I'm not a newbie.
And then go the other direction. The pole is beautiful to look at anyway.
It is really pretty.
And notice for yourself, I've always got one shoulder, one direction that has a lot to say. I have a shoulder that's talking to you as well. And then shake it out a little bit. Really nice. All right, from here, we're going to inhale, reach your arms up. Again, you can follow with your eyes. Bring your hands together. We're going to take a forward fold, tracing down the center line of the body. Good. A halfway lift, so come to 90 degrees. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, slide your hands down, forward fold. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, torso comes to 90 degrees. Reach your head in opposite direction of your hips. Exhale, fold. Last time, inhale. Hands come down, step back to downward dog. So step 1 foot at a time. Good, so feel that spine stretching in 2 directions. Maybe you can arch the spine a little bit, stretch your tailbone to the sky, and then reach the crown of the head toward the floor. Inhale, roll forward to plank pose. So hands and shoulders are stacked over the hands. Good option to come down to your knees and we'll lower down to your belly any way you want to get there. Untuck your toes, bring your fingertips outside of the mat. So this is favorite for me, which is funky cobra. Elbows lift up. Inhale, lift your chest. Then just move around a little bit. So you can shimmy one shoulder to the side and then the other. You could look to your ankle. Trying to get some freedom through the upper body. A lot of us tend to be hunched over looking at devices, computers or other things. So find that expansiveness here through the chest. Next time you come all the way down, we'll come into Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders, palms flat. Press your hands down and energetically drag them towards your hips. You can pull the chest through. At the same time, stretch your feet back behind you. Good, and we'll do a little neck stretch here. Right ear comes toward the right shoulder. Keep the traction, that isometric pull of hands towards hips. Feels intense today. Inhale, come back through center. Left ear toward left shoulder. Yeah. Exhale, we'll release as we come down for a thigh stretch. So prop up on your right forearm, bend your left leg. Swim your left hand behind you. And just bring inner foot toward the outer hip. If it's too much to stay on the arm, you can roll to the side of the body and do the thigh stretch this way. Good, just getting into the front of the legs. Press down with that right arm, pull your heart through. Good, and switch sides. Left arm parallel to the front of the mat, swing that right hand behind you. I always want to work with a little resistance there. Good, yeah, you can roll more to the right side just a bit. Good, nice. All right, stack hands, rest your forehead on the hands. Either keep the legs on the ground or pick up the feet and windshield wiper the legs here as well. Just a little release through the low back. You can rotate the ankles a few times as well. Release feet to the floor, hands alongside your chest, press up and back to downward facing dog. You can go through tabletop, wherever you want to get there. All right, with an inhale, step your right foot in between your hands and set your left knee down. So you'll see a lot of people like to put a blanket underneath their knee. If your knee's sensitive in any way or it just feels too hard, just go ahead and slide a blanket underneath the back knee. Hands on the hips as you sink down into our low lunge. Inhale, arms reach up toward the sky. Good. If you feel a little unsteady, just keep looking down toward the floor. Exhale, sink the right sitting bone a little bit more. Maybe reach up and out of the waistline. Look up to that blue sky we know is up above there. Exhale, hands come down either side of the front foot. You can grab a block as we go to a twist or do this on the ground. If you are going to use a block, left hand on the block, right hand on the hip, and then twist open to the right. Good, everybody. If you want to move on from there, right arm can extend. So we're in this lunge twist, and you might even tuck the back toes and lift up the back leg. Left shoulder toward the right knee. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into your lunge. Spread your wingspan a little bit more. Really good. Exhale, hand comes down. All right, from here, we're all going to pick up our back knee and slide your back foot down. Okay, so sole of the foot down. And bring your torso upright. We're moving toward warrior two, but let's set up our feet. So front foot goes forward. If we were to draw a line from the front heel, it's going to intersect the middle of the back foot. Everybody's feet look good. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, sink down into your warrior. So right buttock tucks under as you sink down. Good. Then see if you could pull low belly and floating ribs into the body. Really nice, everybody. Stay here with your legs as you lean back. Slide your left hand down your left thigh. Right arm comes up and over. Nice side stretch. Good. Inhale. Come on up. Straighten your front leg. I'd grab a block here if you can. If you're newer, we're going to triangle pose. So you can keep feet where they are. You keep arms out to the side. If you have that block, put it on the inside of the right foot and hand comes down to the block. Doing great, everybody. So try not to hyperextend the knee, just a little micro knee bend. So we've got an inner body twist, right ribs up toward the sky. Really nice. Inhale, arms, or come on up with your torso. And then turn your toes toward the same direction toward the clock. Turn them in just a little bit. We're going to go to a wide-legged forward fold. So if you feel really close to your neighbor, just stagger one way or the other so that you have a little bit of space. Good. Hands on the hips. Exhale. Come all the way down. You can have a block nearby if you'd like. Just coming to this inversion. Hands can come to the floor or blocks as we are in this wide-legged forward fold. Good. You can bend your knees. They do not need to be straight. Grab opposite ankles. Again, inviting in with each pose just a little bit deeper awareness of sensation, getting a little bit more embodied, drawing all of that consciousness from out of the busy headspace, in and down, in and through the body. That is where we go to find the expansiveness, the present. We'll move toward a twist here. So left hand can be on a block or on the floor. Right arm reaches up. Good. Root your hips back behind you as you feel that stretch. And twist. Exhale, switch sides. Your shoulders are shrugging up towards your ears. Yeah, could you draw them back toward your hips? Kind of pull your head away from the shoulders. Really nice. Both hands come down. Walk your hands towards your right foot. Turn your right toes. And then step forward into a standing forward fold. Take a couple breaths here. I'll give you some options with the hands to keep them rooting toward the floor. You could grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. Bend your knees a lot, or you could interlace fingers behind your back for a little bit more of a shoulder stretch. What's calling to you today? What do you want to experiment with? Whatever hand position you have, we'll release that. Heel toe your feet out so they're wide, like to the outer edges of the mat. Turn your toes out slightly. We're going to come down into a squat. So hands can come to the heart, tailbone is heavy. Good, everybody. Press your triceps into your knees, squeeze your knees into your triceps, and then pull your heart through. It's good after a long week. Really nice. Hands come down, turn your toes forward and roll all the way up to a standing position here. Arms reach forward, plug the arm bones in, and then extend arms up, okay? A lot of shoulder mobility here, everybody. Slide your shoulders down your back again. Bring your feet either together or hip bone distance apart. We're gonna move into chair pose. So sink your hips down. You're gonna sit into a kindergarten chair. It's not there. Hug in with the hands again, slide the shoulders down the back. Maybe you sink down a little bit more into your imaginary chair. Breathe. Can you find the blue sky mind even in intensity in the legs? Exhale, forward fold. Really nice. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, sigh. 2 more times. Inhale. Sigh out the week. Good, last time. Hands come down, step back to down dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank, make your way to your belly. So you can go through a push-up, you can splat down to the floor, whatever you want to do. Good, we'll do regular cobra this time. So hands alongside your chest. Again, spread those fingers really nice and wide. Press the hands down, shoulders on the back, pull the heart through. So even if you could straighten your arms, keep a little bend, squeeze your elbows in, shoulders down the back. So much more strengthening happening here. Lift. Exhale, come down, make your way back to down dog. When you're ready, left foot steps in between your hands for that lunge. Back knee comes down. Make your way up. Good. Hands come to the hips, sink down, and using the blanket if you need to. And if you feel unsteady, keep your gaze toward the floor. Inhale, arms reach up. Good. Exhale, sink the left sitting bone toward the left heel. Find some stability by squeezing the legs toward one another. Really nice. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down. You can use a block for the twist if you'd like. Right hand on the floor or block, left hand on the thigh. Press that thigh down as you twist. Sometimes you get a satisfying little pop there. The left arm might reach up if you want to go big with the arms. Good. If you want to pick up that back knee, go ahead and straighten it. Find a little bit more depth in that twist. You all doing amazing. If that back knee is lifted, straighten that back leg as much as you can. Point of strength. Excellent. Exhale, both hands come down. We're going to make our way to warrior two. So slide your back foot down and come on up. I'm going to turn the other way so I can see you all. So line up your feet. We have a long stance. Left heel lines up with the center of the right foot. Arms reach out and then sink down, bend into your left leg. So we will sometimes get a big arch in the spine here, but just work to bring floating ribs into the body, little pulling in of the low ribs as you sink down. Feel the strength of the legs, feel the steadiness of the earth beneath you. And then right hand slides down the back leg as you reach up and out of the waistline, a good side stretch. Inhale, come up and straighten your front leg. Grab the block if you'd like to for triangle pose. Otherwise, really engage the muscles of the legs. Arms reach out to the side. Exhale, we tic-tac the arms down. Left hand can come to your ankle, inner or outer foot. Good. Press down through your feet. Engage the muscles of your legs. Twisting from the left side. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up. Make your stance a little bit shorter. This time we're going to turn the toes out. Okay, so just a little shorter stance, turn the toes out. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, bend your knees and come to W arms. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, straighten the arms. Again, you could follow with the eyes. As you exhale, bring those shoulder blades together. Make that a point of strength. Good. Inhale, straighten. Last time we'll stay. Exhale, come down. Press your knees out, tailbone toward the floor, looking so good. Maybe you take your hands just behind you a little bit more. Yeah. Can you sink down into the legs a little more? Where's the blue sky mind now? Inhale, straighten. Exhale, hands float down. Heel toe your feet in and take a step to the front of your mat. Go ahead and look down at your feet. We're gonna spread your toes. If you come to my classes, you know we do this a lot, but spread and lift all of your toes, okay? We're gonna put them down one at a time, and for you, just notice which ones want to come down together. We're just gonna do our best. So pinky toe comes down first, then fourth toe. Weird things often happen with your hands when you try to do this. Okay, then third toe. Then second. Big toe really wants to come down today, then big toe. Okay, then I want you to try to press big toe down and pinky toe down and lift up your other three. I know. Try to strengthen through the arches of your feet. We're like engaging a lot of deep muscles in the feet. All right, relax all your toes. Who knew that could be so difficult? Right foot, a little bend. We're gonna go to tree pose. So left foot can be a kickstand here at the ankle. It could be at your calf, or it could be above your knee. You don't want to put it directly on your knee because it's too unstable of a joint. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on it, okay? Start by looking at something on the floor that's not moving, so don't look at another person. And when you're ready and you feel grounded down through your standing leg, you might grow the limbs of the tree. I have a plant right by a window, and I'm always trying to get it to grow straight, but all it does is want to grow toward that light, right? So just like those trees, plants find the sunlight, find the expansiveness here. Everybody's so steady. Good. Exhale, hands come together. And shake it out. Good concentration. Balance poses are great for cultivating concentration. All right, left leg, little bend through the knee. So we want to lock out the joints. We just want a little micro bend. That helps us to engage the muscles of the legs, not hyperextend the joints. Pick your placement for that foot and then make that a point of strength. So whatever muscle is touching that foot, can you flex that muscle a little bit? Pull everything in. When you're ready, find that expansiveness. Plant growing. You close your eyes, that's bonus points because most people fall as soon as they close their eyes. So if you want to try, extra challenge. You laugh at yourself if you fall. Hands come down to the head. Down. Ready? All right, we're going to bounce back on the first leg again. So little bend through the right leg. Pick up your left leg. I'm mirroring you, so I just have to think about it. Flex your toes a little bit here. So we're on one-legged now. Your hips probably shifted forward a lot. So try to shift your hips back, reach up and out of the waistline. Good. From here, you can hold underneath the thigh. Try to straighten the leg and bend. Let's do that 2 more times. Doesn't have to be hip height. It can be lower than that. Good. Last time we're going to straighten. See if you can release the hands and hold just a minute. Come on, all hands. Exhale, come down. Hello, hip flexors. Let's try the other side. Balancing. One-legged mountain here. Good. Most of us, again, kind of shift forward this way. So see if you can pull back, ground down through that standing leg, reach up and out of the waistline. Interlace the hands. Extend a few times here. Balance, strength. Good. Last time, hold, see. Oh. Letting go. Nice. Release, shake it out. All right, we're gonna find a mountain pose here. So spread your toes again and set them all down. See if you can tune into the 4 corners of the feet. So we have our big toe mound, our inner heel, our outer toe mound, and our outer heel. So like a little rectangle. See if you can feel into all those 4 corners of the feet. Little bend through your knees. We'll take the hands to the hips. gonna try to find a neutral pelvis. So a lot of us either walk around like this, like a tuck to the shoulders and a tuck to the tailbone, or some of us have more of a sway back here and lead more with the chest. See if you could tilt the pelvis just a little bit. So trying to find where is that neutral place. You can imagine the pelvis is a bowl of water, right? We don't want it tipping this way or that way. Just try to find, hold on to the ribs, the rim of the pelvis. So just experiment with that a little bit. You feel like you found it, maybe just that sweet spot. There's a slight tone to the low belly. Then release the hands, roll the shoulders on the back. It's a little bit of inner body brightness here through the chest, lifting up through the crown of the head, and then a slight tuck of the chin. So this nice elongated spine, you have steadiness through the body, and you can either look toward the floor or just allow your eyes to close. As you breathe in, bring awareness to the crown of your head. I am. As you exhale, bring awareness down to your feet here. Inhale, I am. Exhale, here. More times, you can silently repeat that to yourself with the inhale, bringing awareness to the crown of the head. I am. As you exhale, awareness down through the body to the feet here. Picturing yourself as this beautiful bridge between earth and sky. Waking yourself up to your life, to being where your feet are, to the possibility that the most important thing is just whatever's happening right now. Knowing that the more we can be awake and less distracted in our lives, the more satisfied we're going to feel, more able we're going to be to really take in the people that are important to us, the beauty around us, the possibility in front of us. To your next exhale, you can gently blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach your arms up. Again, you can follow with the eyes. Exhale, take a bow. Take a hold. Good. Step back to down dog. Come into pigeon pose. So right knee comes toward the right wrist, and then front shin kind of spills across the front of the mat. So right knee is out toward the right outer edge of the mat. And then walk your left knee back in space. Yeah, looks good, everybody. So we want to do our best not to collapse on the right hip. And a good clue that that's happening is if your left knee is turned out. So we're working to bring all of our weight centered on the hips here. You might be able to come down to forearms. You might not. Okay. Everybody, let's pick up your back knee. So tuck your back toes, pick up that back knee and roll the knee in and down. Get more of the back thigh on the ground. Yeah. So all we're going for is sensation here in the front outer hip. This doesn't work for your body. You can always lie on your back and do a figure 4 stretch. Same kind of a thing here. If your hips are really open and you're looking for more sensation, you can walk that front knee a little bit more parallel to the front of the mat. So you have a greater angle with the knee. All of us have different anatomy, different levels of openness here. Just going for an interesting little edge for yourself. And take one more breath. And after your next exhale, we'll come on up to switch sides. And bring your left knee forward and through. So ideally, yeah, that left knee is outside the left hip. Good. And then you can walk that back knee toward the back of the mat, tuck your toes, pick it up, and then roll the knee and the thigh down to get more of that thigh on the floor. Good. Bring it just a little activation here. So we don't want to turn into complete melted butter. So a little bit of squeezing of the outer hips. And if you can, flex the toes of that left foot. So you're bringing just a little activation. So we have a little bit of structure. We can stretch within. A little bit of activation, protecting our joints. We can kind of relax into that stability, into that shape of the form. Might open and close the mouth here. Many of us tend to tense up in the jaw once we get into the hips. Do your next exhale. You can make your way up. We're going to take a seat on that left hip and swing your legs around. Do a brief twist here and side stretch before we come onto our back. So you can just sit in a cross-legged position in Sukhasana. Good. And then your right hand comes on the outside of the left knee. Good. Left hand comes behind you. So turn your fingertips away, lift up and out of the waist, and then press forward with this hand on the knee. So press the left leg, the left knee forward, and then twist from there. So try your best not to lean too far back. So pull your weight so you're more centered over the hips. Really nice. Tall through your spine. All right, keep holding onto that knee. Look toward me. Let's look toward the front of the room. Drop that shoulder down. Left arm comes up and over. Side stretch. You can drop that shoulder down as much as you want. Good. And then from your elbow through your hands, get limp and loose. And just stretch out from your elbow. So like your elbow had a little laser stretch. Inhale. Come up. Man, that felt good today. Other side. So just as if we could lengthen out the side of that left leg, you're pushing forward. I'm on fingertips with my back hand. Just gives me a little bit more levity to kind of sit up. Now you all can look out at that blue sky. Great, look toward me, drop the left shoulder down, other arm comes up and over. So you're holding onto the knee, you don't completely tip over. And then from the elbow and the hand, just let it go limp and loose. And then stretch out from your elbow. Inhale. Make your way onto your back. You can go as slow or as fast as you'd like. If you want to tuck your tailbone and tuck your chin, make your way down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Go ahead. Bring your knees in toward your chest when you get there. Give them a little squeeze. Rock a little side to side. At the beginning, we did half happy baby, so we'll do full happy baby this time. So pick up both feet, and just like we did that squat on the floor before, imagine that position, but now we're just on our back. So pulling knees down toward the floor, feet are working to stack over the knees. So feet and ankles working to stack over the knees. See if you could allow your tailbone to come toward the floor a little more. Yeah. Press up through the feet. One more breath. Really nice. Allow the feet to float all the way back down. Do legs up the wall. So if you have a block, slide that underneath your low back. If you're at home without a block, just slide your hands underneath your low back. So your hands at your sacrum. So it's that flat part of your back that's below your waistline. And then float your legs up toward the sky. Let's just take a couple breaths here. So if you can, allow your eyes to close. And there's no need to keep any work in the legs. So you're just allowing the legs to kind of float. Again, you could allow the eyes to close. Let the breath slow down. Just feel the difference. Usually we have our feet on the ground. Now your feet are up in the air. You can stay here for another breath or two. If there's any final postures or poses you'd like to do before we settle into Shavasana, go ahead and do them. Otherwise, you can stay in legs up the wall for another couple of breaths. Start to wind down, closing out our practice. So as we start to transition into Shavasana, you have a couple of options. Really the simplest is just lying flat on your back. We have a number of props to support you. So you can bring a blanket up and over your body for a little bit of coziness. Put a blanket behind your head, a bolster underneath your knees. You have some eye pillows if you want an eye pillow for your eyes. Touch my eye over your eye. Feeling still pretty jittery, anxious. Do you have sandbags? Bring a sandbag for your thighs. Sometimes that can be around. Start to settle. Going for comfort, there's no need to feel any stretch. If there's any props touching you, like blocks or anything, I encourage you just to move them out of the way so that you can just the air around you, allow your feet to relax out to the side. Free to take up some space. So if you want to allow the arms to kind of float away from the body a little bit more, allow the feet to relax out a little bit more. Allowed to take up space. You're allowed to find that expansive place of being able to receive rest. Seeing if in these last couple of moments of class, you can relax back into that blue sky mind. Love the weather, the part of you that is the observer, that is untouched. Just watching any thoughts as they go by like clouds. Not overly interested in any of the content of those thoughts, just allowing them to float by. Slowly take a deeper breath. And let that exhale go. Stretch out hands and feet a little bit. Feel ready, you can roll to your right side. Just pause on your right side for a couple of breaths. Finding yourself in the fetal position, maybe head resting on the arm. Ready, use your hands to press yourself up into a seated position. Join our hands together in front of our hearts. As you go out into your week and then your weekend, just maybe reminding yourself that you can tap into that self that is above the weather, that is the big expansive sky. Anytime that you need to, that your practice and your mat is here, get a little bit more embodied out of that busy headspace and into the present moment. Take a breath in together as a class. And as you exhale, bow your head towards your hands and towards your heart. Namaste. Thank you everyone for being here. So nice to see you. If you want to introduce yourself, I love to learn names. Usually our newsletter tells you who's teaching every week for the community class. There's different things. Sometimes it's a yoga class like this. Sometimes it's sound healing. Sometimes it's yin. All different kinds of teachers. There is a basket out there if you want to give a donation to the studio. Feel free. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. Oh, thanks everybody. I'm glad you liked it. Interesting.